It's really important that for us to ever have progress, that we consider the forgotten past. And there is no past more forgotten, in my opinion, than that of our own native indigenous people here.
Well, my background is Choctaw. I'm a tribal member of the Choctaws. And Native American is a cuisine that's been kind of, I'd almost say underappreciated, but really more unknown.
The Prsrv is a really interesting concept that happened when chefs David Skinner
And I had this kind of crazy idea.
and my wife, Benchawan Painter,
Yeah, why not?
got together and decided they wanted to create a restaurant that focused equally on Choctaw and Thai heritage.
And what we discovered was if you went back 500 years, you ended up with very similar techniques for cooking, similar ingredients, similar customs. Made a lot of sense, tell the story, using a historical menu where we could really kind of cover how ingredients move from one continent to the other and how it influenced different cuisines across the world. Prsrv is a really unusual, pretty much one-of-a-kind restaurant in a historical menu. So we start 2,000 years ago and bring it forward to today.
If you're talking about 2,000 years ago, Thai people, we don't even have chili yet. So we have to go back to history, try to find out the older kind of Thai food and how we're gonna present this here.
There's never a fusion. We give equal respect to both cultures. And so this archaeological dig of each chef's historical background is also through this micro lens, telling a really beautiful macro picture about a food that's been forgotten, that is the most consequential agriculture the world has ever seen, being Native American. And then telling this micro lens of Thai food, which is actually an example of all of the modern food from Europe to Africa to Asia.
Yeah, so the dining experience is also designed to be different. As you can see, I'm sitting at a communal table.
They come in as strangers, they invariably leave as friends.
It's great, it's a lot of fun. People meet, new people. You go back even just 100 years or so, people weren't really sitting at their own individual table. They were sharing things in a communal fashion.
There are 15 courses. We go along this timeline, alternating between the cuisines until we reach the end in the modern world. And then things start to get really familiar.
As far as preparation techniques, we use things that were very traditional for 2,000 years ago, right? So things that are done, with fire, different preservation techniques like curing and salting, smoking.
It's very personal because both of these chefs use such advanced techniques in their daily life. They're not used to having constraints holding them back, but to be able to go historically and say, hey, we didn't have X ingredients. And for them to be able to pull it off with hands tied behind their back and to be historically accurate, I think has given them great satisfaction. The Prsrv is very pointed, it's very literal.
If you think back on that time, people do a lot of preserved food on that time. Like I say, they don't have cooler or they don't have freezer. So the way they do is pickle thing and dehydrate or just let it dry.
It's all about preserving food that you're harvesting, food that you're foraging, food that you're hunting. So preservation is key. We're also trying to create a preserve for Choctaw and ancient Thai food.
We know the food's going to be great, but we hope they come away with an appreciation for the ingredients, where they've come from, appreciation for how these ingredients change the cuisines of the world.
We love to tell story, we're so proud to tell our story about the dish we come out with and the dish how people on that kind of time they eating and the technique, the style, the ingredient, and how they keep the food is fresh long as possible.
I am so proud of what we've done with this thing. The two chefs are And I may be partial, but two of the greatest chefs I've ever known, and to have them come together and to be able to experience what's happening is amazing.
Food's always been an essential thing for me. I love it. I love making it. I love eating it. And I think this is a great way for us to share, again, that kind of history and knowledge with our guests.